The British royal family often seems like a fairy tale, but behind the palace gates lies a world filled with struggles and challenges that would surprise even the most devoted fans. Prince William, a figure admired for his charisma and leadership, has faced his own share of heart-wrenching moments that have shaped who he is today. So, what shocking family tragedy changed everything for him? To grasp the significance of these revelations, let's take a moment to explore the prince's early life and the experiences that have shaped him into the man he is today. Early life. Prince William made his grand entrance into the world on June 21, 1982 at 9:03 p.m. The location? St. Mary's Hospital in Paddington, London, where he tipped the scales at a healthy 7 pounds and 1.5 ounces, clearly a royal standard of weight. The news was shared with a bulletin on the gates of Buckingham Palace, because what's more important than announcing a new baby in the family? Fast forward a few weeks to August 4, 1982, when little William was christened in the music room at Buckingham Palace. The Archbishop of Canterbury, Dr. Robert Runcie, presided over the ceremony, likely wearing a smile that could rival any proud grandparents. From there, it was off to nursery school at Mrs. Minor's in West London. In 1987, young William moved on to Wetherby School, quickly realizing that being a prince didn't exempt him from homework. By 1990, he was off to Ludgrove School in Berkshire, where he spent 5 years honing his academic skills and probably perfecting his royal wave. Then came the prestigious Eton College in 1995, where he served as house captain of games and prefect. Talk about wearing multiple hats. He managed to leave Eton in 2000 with A-levels in geography, biology, and history of art. Who knew that one day he'd be using that knowledge to navigate royal responsibilities and the complexities of art history? After finishing up at Eton, William opted for a classic rite of passage, the gap year. He was off to experience the world, participating in survival exercises in Belize, volunteering in Chile, and even getting his hands dirty on a dairy farm in the UK. In September 2001, it was time for the next chapter. He began a 4-year Master of Arts in History of Art at St. Andrews University. But in a plot twist that surprised no one, he switched majors to geography after 2 years. For his dissertation, he chose the coral reefs of Rodrigues in the Indian Ocean, clearly showing he was ready to dive into the deep end of academia. Between studies, he found time to represent the Scottish National University's water polo team, proving that he could indeed swim with the best of them. Graduating in June 2005 with a 2-to-1 in geography, William was ready for action. He joined the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst, graduated as an Army officer in December 2006, and joined the Household Cavalry. His next adventure? A flying career. As Flight Lieutenant Wales, he took to the skies, becoming a search and rescue pilot in 2010 and conducting a whopping 156 rescue operations like a real-life superhero, only with less spandex and more tactical gear. After his time in the RAF, he transitioned to the East Anglian Air Ambulance, proving that even royals can roll up their sleeves. His reflection on this experience? It has been a huge privilege. It's hard to argue with that, especially when you're saving lives. So how did the young prince gear up for his royal responsibilities? Let's find out. The making of a modern royal. From day one, it seemed like Prince William was destined for the big throne, with parents who made sure he wasn't just any ordinary kid. Nope, this was a child who got to tour the world before he could even say, "Give me my crown." William's royal journey kicked off with a trip to New Zealand when he was just under a year old. While most babies are busy discovering their toes, here's William, probably snoozing in his carriage while the world's attention focused on the British monarchy's duties. Talk about a high-pressure nap. Fast forward to 1991, and young William made his grand entrance into public life. At the tender age of 9, he joined his parents on a visit to Llandaff for St. David's Day. There he was, a pint-sized prince, likely wondering why he had to wear those stuffy clothes instead of the comfy pajamas he preferred. And it didn't stop there. That same year, he and his brother Harry hopped over to Canada. Was there a royal family road trip playlist? We can only imagine the tunes blasting in the royal car. Maybe something regal, like the Lion King soundtrack. As William grew, so did his royal responsibilities. At 21, he was appointed a Counselor of State. It's like being told, "Congrats, you're now an official backup for the Queen." And just when you thought he'd slow down, in 2005, he embarked on his first solo public engagement in New Zealand. He probably thought, okay, no parental guidance, I can totally handle this. Little did he know he'd be making speeches and trying not to trip over his own feet. By 2010, William's travels had gained some serious royal traction. During his official tour in New Zealand, he opened the new building of the Supreme Court. He charmed the masses with a warm welcome from a Maori chief. Talk about a confidence boost. Before donning his military uniform at Sandhurst, William dipped his toes into various professions. Yes, even trying his hand at finance with a 3-week internship at the Bank of England. It's as if he was thinking, if I can manage a nation, I might as well learn how money works. And the fun didn't stop there. In 2019, Kensington Palace revealed he had been doing some undercover work at MI5, MI6, and GCHQ. Sounds like the start of a spy novel, right? Monitoring potential threats and breaking codes. Who knew the future king was also moonlighting as a secret agent? The scar that stole the show. Prince William's recent royal engagement in Wales took a surprising turn, evoking memories of a childhood mishap that left him with a distinctive scar, a tale fit for any good royal soap opera. On June 11th, the Prince of Wales hopped on a train to Cardiff to dive into the world of sea-grown plants. Sounds fancy, right? He shared a charming snapshot on social media, showcasing himself gazing contemplatively out of the train window, a phone and a monogrammed binder carefully placed before him, as if he were plotting world domination, or at least the future of Welsh seaweed. During his visit, William caught up with Pierre Paslier of Note Pla, a company dedicated to creating sustainable products, including a golf tee made from seaweed. This prompted a nostalgic trip down memory lane for the prince. He recounted a rather memorable golfing accident from his youth that left him with a scar on his forehead. Paslier was intrigued, asking, "Do you like golfing?" To which William humorously replied, "I call it my Harry Potter scar because it glows sometimes, like a magic trick, only less fun." Every time someone sees that scar, he could just say, "Axio good hair." William shared the dramatic backstory of his scar, reminiscent of a scene right out of a Harry Potter book. "I got hit by a golf club while playing with a friend. We were on the putting green and boom, a 7-iron came out of nowhere." He recounted this incident with the flair of someone recalling a legendary sports event, not a childhood accident that required emergency surgery for a skull fracture. His school released a statement following the incident, reassuring everyone that there was no malicious intent involved. Just a classic case of golf gone wrong, which, in hindsight, makes for a pretty good how I got my scar story at royal dinner parties. His parents, Prince Charles and Princess Diana, were by his side, providing comfort during his recovery. One can only imagine the conversations. "You see, dear William, golf can be dangerous, maybe stick to tennis?" Sadly, Princess Diana's untimely passing would later end that comforting chapter of his life, forcing William to navigate a different kind of game. Life without his beloved mother. A devastating loss. Princess Diana's tragic death on August 31, 1997, rocked the world, and for her 2 sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, it was an earth-shattering moment that would forever change their lives. William was just 15, and Harry was only 12 when they lost their mother, a vibrant presence who had always been a source of love and comfort. The loss felt like a jolt, and it left them scrambling to navigate a new reality that was suddenly filled with grief and expectation. For many years, William and Harry didn't openly discuss their mother's death. They kept their feelings close to their chest, which is understandable given the pressures of their royal status. But as they grew older, they began to share their stories. In 2017, they participated in the HBO documentary, Diana, Our Mother, Her Life and Legacy, where they opened up about the complex emotions surrounding their loss. Their last chat with Diana was a phone call, a nightly tradition that started after she and Prince Charles split. Can you imagine? Just a regular conversation that turned out to be their last. A few days later, the world tuned in to watch Diana's funeral. 2.5 billion people, in fact. Young William and Harry walked behind her cortege, trying to hold it together in front of a global audience. In the documentary, William shared that the royal family tried to have open conversations about their mother's death, but being so small at that age, It was very difficult to communicate or understand your feelings. It's tough enough to deal with loss as an adult. I can't even imagine trying to make sense of it all as a child. Diana was laid to rest on a peaceful island in the Oval Lake at her family home, Althorpe Estate. William talked about how he and Harry tried to maintain some normalcy amid the chaos. "Slowly, you try and rebuild your life and understand what's happened," he said. He constantly reminded himself that his mother wouldn't want him to be sad. "I kept myself busy," he explained, acknowledging that it was both helpful and a bit of a distraction. Fast forward to today, and you can see how their mother's memory is still alive in their lives. William has made it a point to share Diana's legacy with his own children, Prince George and Princess Charlotte. "We've got more photos around the house now of her, and we talk about her a bit," he said. He wants his kids to know they have two grandmothers, something that's really important for family ties. It's heartwarming to see how he keeps Diana's spirit present in their lives. In a preview for the BBC special A Royal Team Talk Tackling Mental Health, William candidly expressed, "When you are bereaved at a very young age, you feel a pain like no other pain." That's a heavy statement, and you can't help but feel for him. There's a unique sting to losing a loved one early on, something that changes your perspective on life forever. You know that in your life it's going to be very difficult to come across something that is going to be an even worse pain than that, he added. But here's the silver lining. William found strength not just in solitude, but in sharing his story. "It also brings you so close to all those other people out there who have been bereaved," he said. "It's like finding a secret club of sorts, where everyone understands that specific brand of pain without needing to explain it. When you talk to someone else, you can almost see it in their eyes sometimes." That's a comforting thought, connecting with others who truly get it. William even shared a sweet memory from his childhood that has stuck with him. He recalled how Diana would play songs during their drives to boarding school to help ease their anxiety. "One of the songs I massively remember is Tina Turner's The Best," he said with a smile. Can you picture it? The three of them driving along, Diana belting out tunes, the boys in the backseat singing along. It's these small, joyful moments that help them keep her memory alive. Reflecting on his journey, William believes Diana would be proud of how he and Harry have turned out. "I think she would be proud of everything Harry and I have come through," he said, finding strength in her legacy. It's clear that the lessons Diana imparted have had a lasting impact on both of them, shaping the way they approach life and family. Navigating the world without their mother hasn't been easy, but through open conversations and shared memories, William is ensuring that Diana's spirit remains a guiding light in their lives and the lives of their children. It's a bittersweet journey, but one filled with love, resilience, and a commitment to honor a remarkable woman who continues to inspire even from beyond. William's willingness to speak openly about grief and mental health is a game changer. Gone are the days when royal family members buried their feelings beneath a layer of formality. Instead, William and his brother Harry are ushering in a new era, where it's perfectly okay to let the tears flow. Their conversations not only resonate with those who have experienced loss, but also create a ripple effect, encouraging others to open up about their struggles. William's experiences remind us that while grief can feel isolating, it's also a universal experience that connects us. Whether it's finding peace in the stunning landscapes of Scotland or sharing a knowing look with someone who understands, those moments of connection can be incredibly healing. The royal brothers' openness is a breath of fresh air, especially in a world where vulnerability is often dismissed. At the end of the day, navigating grief isn't just about bearing the burden. It's also about finding ways to cope, connect, heal, and sometimes find love. The sad journey of William and Kate. Prince William and Princess Kate's love story began on the campus of St. Andrews University in Scotland back in 2001. Two young students, both navigating their university years with more than just academic aspirations. Initially just friends, it's hard not to wonder if there was a little more than friendly banter brewing behind those library stacks. Now here's where it gets a bit cheeky. There's been speculation that Kate Middleton might have strategically chosen St. Andrews just to be closer to her future husband. According to royal historian Robert Lacey, she made quite the educational gamble. She passed up a spot at the prestigious University of Edinburgh, no small feat, and opted for St. Andrews, delaying her education by a year. The academic standards? Let's just say they might not have been on par with Edinburgh's illustrious reputation, but it seems Kate had her eyes on the prize. William. You can just picture her crafting a little plan. Step 1. Enroll. Step 2. Make the prince notice me. Step 3. World domination, or at least a wedding ring. And she wasn't the only one who had the prince on her mind. After William announced his intention to study there, applications to St. Andrews spiked by a whopping 44%. Talk about a royal endorsement. Who wouldn't want to attend a university where the future King of England roamed the halls? Fast forward to their second year. Kate, William, and a couple of friends moved into a cozy 4-bedroom townhouse off campus. They were still just pals, but the plot thickened. There's a delightful rumor that William's feelings for Kate ignited when he spotted her strutting her stuff in a charity fashion show, rocking a see-through mini dress over a bra and underwear set. That dress, mind you, later sold for $125,000. Apparently, charity work can be quite lucrative when you're dressed to the nines, or should we say the twos. Their budding romance came to light during a ski trip in the Swiss Alps, when the Sun published photos of the duo. This led to some serious royal ire. Prince Charles was less than thrilled with the breach of privacy, threatening to cut ties with the tabloid. You can imagine the royal family's dinner table discussions after that. Well, that escalated quickly. By June 2005, they wrapped up their university journey and graduated alongside 260 of their classmates, with some notable royal guests in attendance, William's grandparents and his father, Prince Charles, among them. In 2010, during their engagement interview, William reflected on their brief split in 2006, saying, "We were both very young, trying to define ourselves." Kate chimed in with the wisdom of hindsight, "I wasn't very happy about it, but it made me a stronger person." Sometimes a little distance can show you how much you really miss someone, right? It's like realizing how much you adore pizza when you're stuck with a salad. Their breakup lasted just a few months before they reconciled in 2007. Apparently, William had to do some serious convincing to win Kate back. Royal reporter Katie Nicholl recounts that at a costume party, Kate showed up dressed as a sexy nurse, and William followed her around like a lost puppy. Then came the big moment, October 20th, 2010, when William proposed in a cabin in Kenya. Not too shabby. He whipped out Princess Diana's stunning engagement ring, a 12-carat sapphire if you're curious, and asked Kate to be his wife. When asked later about the proposal, he mentioned it felt really right to ask in Africa. Sure, it's romantic, but you might suspect a little part of him was also thinking, well, if I mess this up, I can just blame the lions. The engagement was made public on November 16, 2010, and they tied the knot on April 29, 2011. The wedding was watched by over 72 million people worldwide. That's more than the population of a lot of countries. The couple's life together unfolded like a well-scripted series of royal episodes. Just when you thought the drama was over, another baby announcement or engagement update would pop up. Fast forward to 2012, and Kate was expecting their first child. By July 2013, Prince George was born. Then came Princess Charlotte in 2015, and Prince Louis in 2018. You've got to hand it to them. They make baby-making look like a royal sport. 10 years after their wedding, they celebrated their milestone with sweet portraits taken at Kensington Palace, showing off their enduring love. By their 12th anniversary in 2023, they released yet another charming photo, capturing them mid-bike ride. But as anyone familiar with royal life knows, it comes with its own set of challenges, something these two lovebirds were about to discover firsthand. A struggle that shakes the palace. In mid-January 2024, Kate, the Princess of Wales, Prince Harry's beloved wife, underwent a planned abdominal surgery. And just like that, the royal family's routine was thrown into a whirlwind. The next day, Kensington Palace shared a statement, letting everyone know the surgery went well, but that Kate would need some time to recover. They mentioned she'd be in the hospital for 10 to 14 days, and afterward, she'd be taking it easy at home until after Easter. Talk about a royal roller coaster. Picture the scene at Kensington Palace. Staff bustling about, trying to manage the press frenzy. Everyone was buzzing with speculation. What was going on with Kate? The palace kept things under wraps, promising to share updates only if something significant happened. But of course, the media was relentless. They were practically dissecting every word. By late January, Kate was back at Windsor, where she could focus on her recovery. The palace reassured everyone that she was making good progress, but let's be real, 2 to 3 months of recuperation is no small feat. Meanwhile, Prince William stepped up, putting a pause on his own official duties to support Kate. Family first, right? It's heartwarming to see that even royals prioritize each other. As the weeks rolled by, the questions about Kate's health intensified. Was it serious? What exactly was the surgery for? Just when everyone was on the edge of their seats, in March 2024, Kate made a stunning announcement. She had been diagnosed with cancer. She shared in a heartfelt video that, although the surgery was initially successful, tests revealed that cancer was present. That had to have felt like a punch in the gut. I was in the early stages of preventative chemotherapy, she revealed, adding that the news was a huge shock. She was real about it, discussing the challenges of explaining the situation to her 3 kids, George, Charlotte, and Louis. "We want to reassure them that I'm going to be okay," she said. And honestly, that's something every parent can relate to. Finding the right words to comfort your kids during tough times is never easy. Kate asked for time, space, and privacy as she focused on her treatment. This is a sentiment many of us understand, especially when dealing with health challenges. It's tough to find that balance between public life and private struggles. As the months went on, Kate's strength shone through. By September 2024, she announced she had finished her chemotherapy. "The last 9 months have been incredibly tough for us as a family," she said. You could really feel the emotional weight of her words. She described the experience as navigating stormy waters, which is so relatable. Life can throw us some unexpected curveballs. Through her journey, Kate reflected on vulnerability and how facing such a challenge brings a new perspective on life. "This time has reminded William and me to reflect and be grateful for the simple yet important things," she wrote. "It's a beautiful reminder that sometimes we need to pause and appreciate what we have." By mid-September 2024, Kate made her first official appearance since her diagnosis. Attending a meeting on early years education in the UK, talk about a triumphant return. The cameras flashed as she stepped out, her warmth and grace radiating. It was clear she was ready to embrace her public role again. Just a month later, she was back in the spotlight again, meeting with parents affected by a tragic incident in northwest England. Watching her navigate these moments with poise, it was inspiring to see her blend her royal duties with genuine empathy. It's not just about the title, it's about connecting with people on a human level. Throughout this entire experience, Kensington Palace remained supportive, emphasizing Kate's need for privacy. She will return to work when she has the green light from her doctors, a senior palace aide mentioned. It's good to see that they're taking her health seriously and prioritizing her well-being. The pressures of the crown. According to Tina Brown, a former Vanity Fair editor and royal biographer, William and Kate have been juggling a whirlwind of pressures that would make even the most seasoned circus performer a little dizzy. With whispers of Charles's health troubles, specifically his cancer diagnosis, floating around, it seems the crown could land on their heads sooner than they'd imagined. Imagine this. Back in January, just as Charles was being treated for an enlarged prostate, Kate was undergoing her own abdominal surgery. Shortly after Charles left the hospital, Buckingham Palace revealed the shocking news that tests from his procedure had shown cancer. It's a heavy cloud looming over the family, and it's clear that the stakes have risen dramatically. As Tina Brown points out, the reality of King Charles's health means that William and Kate are suddenly thrust into a much more immediate role in the royal family. Whatever the prognosis is for Charles, he's 75 and he has cancer, she noted, adding a dose of reality to the situation. This isn't just about the occasional royal engagement or charity event. This is about preparing for kingship. The idea that they might need to step up as king and queen sooner than they ever thought must be causing a bit of anxiety behind those palace walls. Kate, in particular, has her hands full. Not only is she processing the shocking news about Charles's health, but she's also managing the lives of 3 young children. How do you explain that their grandfather is dealing with something so serious? It's not a conversation most parents would relish having, let alone under the watchful eyes of the public. Now let's not forget the historical context here. The British monarchy has weathered storms before, but the combination of personal health crises and the weight of succession can create a perfect storm of uncertainty. Brown describes the chaos that has unfolded behind the scenes, highlighting how the couple has been trying to juggle it all while keeping a composed public facade. Meanwhile, Buckingham Palace has kept a relatively tight lid on details regarding King Charles's health, which only adds to the intrigue. We know he's been seen meeting with the Prime Minister and some veterans recently, but the palace has advised him to steer clear of large crowds during his treatment. It's almost like a royal game of hide-and-seek. While they're out there doing their duty, the public is left to speculate about the king's health and the potential future of the monarchy. In the end, one thing is clear: the next few years could be transformative for William. He's in a position where he might need to step up his game sooner than anticipated, all while balancing the realities of family life and the pressures that come with royal expectations. We're left eagerly anticipating how this all unfolds and how Prince William will step up as king. What are your thoughts? Share them in the comments below.